pieces and things like that. Yes, it was done with them in New York, and it's meant to be 1/3 of a 14-minute video piece, which would have also included Neurotica and Neil and Jack and Me. And this would have been kind of the centerpiece of those two. But the financing never came through.
So you never did the whole shot?
We haven't done all the rest of them. I don't know if that will materialize or not. But I thought it was an interesting way of doing it because the fact that the band kind of takes on character roles and doesn't attempt to really be actors or anything, and doesn't at the same time just give you someone doing a literal interpretation of the song going, you know, like that.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at that anyway.
It seems almost like a dream.
Yeah, it's very rich with coloration and
I have dreams, and I'll have a song that'll accompany it, like the soundtrack from a movie, somewhat. And by watching that, it really looked that way to me. You can really imagine you would have a dream about a few ladies here and there, and a certain, you know, song would kind of play over it and everything.
Yeah, it has a lot of imagination to it, and it's visually rather suggestive of things, suggesting this kind of relationship that's going on between these two people.
I want to get into your lyrics a little bit. You've got to be one of the most outstanding lyricists I think I have ever heard.
I don't think I've ever heard that said to me before.
Well, you hear it on In the Mode tonight.
Amazing.
We'll tell you about that. The lyrics that you've put together for both King Crimson albums, the revitalized Crimson, they are so, I don't know what the word is, they just grab your attention, the way you put the words together, especially on Elephant Talk. And that was an incredible favorite with the audience last night.
Yeah,
they seemed to go crazy over that. And you must pardon me, the name escapes me of the song, I Looked at It.
Oh,
I
that's
like
called
it.
Indiscipline.
Indiscipline.
Yeah.
They went crazy. They just, what is the inspiration for your lyrics? It seems that, at least for the first album, had a lot to do with New York City, seemed to be, especially on a few of the cuts.
Well, actually, the first album is a real pastiche of everything. I was trying a lot of things, trying to see, you know, what kind of vocal styles work best with this sort of heavy-duty music that we've arrived at. And so you have me doing narratives, and you have me doing more what I call conventional singing, where you sing like Mate Kudasai, a very pretty melody, and you really try and project your voice. I found through the first album that mostly I liked the singing aspect of it, trying to really be a singer. Where most of the ideas came from, I really don't know. There was so much pressure at that point. We only had a few weeks to put together the first album, and I was really jumping in the cold water there. The second album, the Beat album, I felt much more confident as a lyricist. I had in the interim, of course, done the Rhino album, and that made me a little more assured of my abilities. And then, I don't know, I just had a clearer idea that this was to be an album, sort of metaphorically speaking, about being on the road and traveling and the camaraderie of the band, and there's a lot of picturesque things about New York City is kind of represented by the song Neurotica. Neil and Jack and Me is kind of representing the touring aspects of being in Europe, traveling in a white van and visiting Paris and things. You have a couple of songs on the album that are mostly based on homesickness, being away from your wife, and in my case, wife and children.
Like Two Hands and things like that.
Two Hands was written by my wife, so it's kind of her view of the same thing. But Waiting Man and Heartbeat are both kind of about homesickness, I think, is the main simple, blatant message there. And The Howler, what's The Howler about?
Yeah. What
Howler's
is The Howler
about an arsonist, pyromaniac.
And he sets himself on fire and starts howling.
The song just had such a urgent vibe to it, and the guitar solo that I'd done at the end sounded like something on fire, and very metallic, building burning down kind of feeling. So Robert suggested Allen Ginsberg's poem, Howl, but I just went from that point on and went somewhere else with it.
You started the show last night with Waiting Man, and it was a very interesting way to start the show. And Bill comes out and starts playing, and you started off as a drummer.
That's right, age 10. I've
Right.
never stopped playing drums. In
Now,
fact.
you really seem to blend very well together with Bill, and you seem to be mugging with each other as you
Yeah.
were playing. It's a very interesting way to open the show. Wanted to get a little bit in about Tony, his association with Peter Gabriel. Are you a fan of Peter's? Do you enjoy
very
his
much
work?
so.
Because we here on In the Mode are incredible Peter Gabriel fans.
Well, you know, my main regret that I have so far is I had an offer to play on Peter's upcoming album, which is a really great album.
You have heard it?
I've heard bits of it, and I really liked it a lot, and I couldn't do it simply because of our touring schedule that time. I only had one day I could drive up to Bath from London and do it and rush back, and it just seemed kind of, you know, not the right time, and I really regret that. I like Peter Gabriel's work a lot. I think Tony would tell you that Peter Gabriel is probably his favorite artist to work with, and he's certainly worked with a lot. But they seem to have a real kind of family feeling about their tours and everything. They all get very close and they have a lot of fun together. But Peter's really an incredible person.
I really look forward to the new album as well, because he's another artist along with yourself that never fails to surprise you. Never fails to surprise you. You put on certain albums by artists, you know it'll just be a slight extension of what they've just done. But as far as you guys and Gabriel goes, it's always an incredible surprise. And
well, my favorite artists are artists who are rather eclectic. I like that feeling throughout an album where things change.
It's challenging.
You don't get the same feeling from every song, the same drum sound, the same this and that. That type of repetition is, I don't know, I don't like that. I prefer songs, each song to kind of be its own little
entity?
Yeah, its own little thing.
Well, we have come just about to the end.
Oh,
did I tell you
bad.
that it goes fast?
Yeah,
It's
it
just
does.
amazing.
It goes very fast. I have a million things to tell you about.
I know. Well, look, by the time you see this show, you'll be seeing the show in about a week or so, and these boys will be gone. But if you have tickets for this evening's King Crimson concert, I saw it last night, and I was incredibly impressed. Greek Theater is a beautiful setting for such innovative music. I'd like to thank Adrian Belew.
Well, thank you very much
for
Ron.
being on the show with
My
us
pleasure.
this evening. And this is In
So
the
long.
Mode. And we'll be back in a few weeks with heaven knows what. We always have surprises here for you. So enjoy. Thank you very much. Good evening.